Hey guys, I'm back. I just got something really cool in the mail today. I've been waiting for this for a long time. I'm really excited about it, and I'm also a little disappointed. I'll get to that in this review. It's kind of a first impressions. I haven't been able to get out to a field with it. It doesn't really work yet with my marker. I'll explain to you why in a little while. Some good and bad things. I'll do a comparison to the stock frame right here. But first off, I'm just going to explain to you the difference between this frame, the VLP-X, and the version 1 of this frame, the VLX frame. And that is right here, right in the rear grip. You'll notice this big aluminum block right here. This is actually two separate milled pieces. And this is a low pressure air chamber. This allows your marker supposedly to run at a lower pressure and to therefore be more efficient. So I was really excited about this. I was excited about their last frame, but this is the same thing that they've included in their Axe extended frames. So they just brought it over to the Mini to try and make it more air efficient. Features, like I said, the expanded air chamber. It has this snatch grip right here, which is really nice. It lets the marker sit a little bit more comfortably in the hand. I like it. I like the ergonomics of it. Larger trigger guard, so you have that more freedom of movement in your fingers, I guess you could say, and you could get a thumb in there as well and still be able to run the trigger. The front grip obviously is moved forward. That's the point of this. That's the X, the extended in the name, and they have this board cover right here with the bridge board. You can see compared here. I'll flip it around for you so you can see compared to the original frame. And I think the only way to really fairly do this is to line up the screw holes. So there you are. There's the screw holes are lined up. That's where the original frame would sit in relation to the body. And you can see the grip, the snatch grip comes out a little further. The grip is massively forward. There's probably about a good inch between the back of the grip here and the back of the grip here. The rear grip is also at a better, more ergonomic angle. This stock frame is actually a little further forward in front here, and there's a bit more of a palm swell in the back. I really like that myself. They do still have this cutout. See in the stock frame, there's this cutout here for the Redline board kit, which I have right here. They keep that in the Nummech frame. They don't try and reinvent the wheel. The rubber cover, if you still have that, the stock rubber cover will fit in there, but the Redline does also fit. Setting it up and putting it together. They have a really good instructional video on YouTube. Probably the one right above my video on your search. They have a really great instructional video on how to put this together. I just want to add a couple things about assembling it. First off, he just kind of takes a pin. I think he uses an Allen key and just kind of pops the trigger pin out and does the whole assembly. He might mention that that it won't be that easy. I can't remember. I don't think he does. But what you will need in order to pop this out, because it is knurled there and it's a friction fit, you will need a 30-second punch and a hammer. Alright, so you take the screws out, you have just the bare frame. Mine originally on the stock frame popped out from this side, so you take your punch and you tap it. He doesn't mention that. And then on the stock one, I had to put it in from the right side, and it didn't quite. I think the aluminum's a little harder on these frames. It didn't quite go in, but it is in there. It is locked. It is in there well. So you will need a punch, and this hammer's a little bit big, but you will need some kind of machine hammer, or maybe just like a framing hammer or whatever you have, and just gently tap out that that pin. I think they mentioned that in the original VLX installation video, but they didn't in this one. Another thing you'll need is some grease. I made the mistake of assembling this dry. It just pissed air out from in here. So you're going to want to coat the O-ring here in grease. I figured since this is a non-moving O-ring, it's a stationary sealing O-ring, I used Dow 55 just so it would swell a little bit in this large top one and in the bottom one here and in the top of the regulator. There are actually 2 O-rings down here at the bottom. And then the last thing, you're going to want a short, what size is this? 7/64 Allen key. Getting the long Allen keys in that come with your mini GS out of the box, getting them in here is near impossible. You can't get them past here, past this grip. So it's just a lot easier. You get yourself a short one, and it'll fit in here, and screw that, and you'll be able to screw that board retaining screw right there in no problem. But you will need a short Allen key for that, short 7/64. So when I got this in the mail, I was a little bit disappointed with it. I don't know if it was a flaw in the machining process, is something somebody missed, or if they machined it, got it all perfect, sent it out to get the finish done, and then it came back and there was some finish in the holes for the screws, but the front grip was really loose when I got it. I ended up having to tap out this hole right here. I don't know if you can see that. I ended up having to tap that hole, and then the hole in the front, that's actually in the front of the board cover. I ended up having to tap all those holes, just chase the thread with a 6-3-2 tap. Actually, I think I have it up here. Yeah, a 6-3-2 tap. Yeah. So I ended up having to go chase the threads with this in order to be able to screw this plastic cover in enough so it wasn't wiggling like crazy. I mean, there's still a little bit of... Actually, no, there's not. There's no play anymore. So I don't know if that was the finisher or the machinist. Definitely a quality control. Shouldn't have got out like that, in my opinion. Issue. But I have the skill set and the training that it wasn't a hard fix for me. Another problem that I had with it, and this is where I'm a little bit disappointed in it, the bridge board doesn't work. I was able to get in contact with Nummech, and I showed them the video of it not working, and they said, yeah, no problem, and they're sending me out, as of recording this, they're sending me out a new bridge. So I will update, I'll probably comment on this video what the result of that is. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that the new one will work. I'll just swap it out and be good to go. But if I turn it on, it's in training mode right now. If anybody has the red line board, they know what that is. But basically, training mode, every time you pull the trigger, instead of activating the solenoid, it just beeps. The board beeps. It's clicking. You can hear it clicking. The electronics in there, but it's not beeping. It's not registering the trigger pull. It'll register. Let me see if I can show you. but it will register my finger going in the breech, and you can see that, as a ball in the chamber, but it won't register the trigger pull. I don't know if that's because one of the pin plugs is loose or whatever. I haven't gone in and looked at it. Like I said, Nummech's sending me on a new one. Despite the board and the thread issues that I had, I still really like this frame. I put my tank on, and my hopper and my barrel you saw in the thumbnail for this video. I think it looks really beautiful. I'll put on the grips right here. Just hold them on. And it's just really comfortable. It makes the marker, I have really big hands. It makes the marker really comfortable for me to hold. I'm able now to get my thumb around the front grip and actually hold it properly. I'm not around the barrel like I was with the old frame. I'm not, clogging up the trigger guard with my thumb so I can't even pull the trigger. It's really comfortable now. It allows me to get a good hold onto this, a good sturdy grip. So I like that. It makes the Mini much more usable for a guy with big hands, but it still keeps that compact package. This is a pretty small marker still compared to something, say, an M2. Those are quite larger than this, even with this frame on. So, providing Nummech learns a bit and they start ironing out the kinks. This is one of the first frames out purchased, as far as I know. As long as they learn and they develop the processing and they step up their game, quality control wise, I'm gonna recommend a testament to the design a little bit, that the solenoid in at least my marker fit in the stock frame really tight. And I don't know if you can see right in there, see that little silver mark, right? There's one there and there's one there. Let's see if I can show you. Yeah, right there, that silver bit, that's actually where the solenoid was rubbing as it was going into the frame, and it actually rubbed off the finish. That's how tight it was. I guess their tolerances were a little bit liberal with the stock Mini GS's. The body for my Mini GS fits on this grip frame better actually than it did on stock. I will give them huge props for that. That is a major up in my opinion. I was able to just once I got the whole frame put together, I was able to take the body and just plop it on, lined up the pins perfect, and everything just kind of right in, and there was no issue putting it together whatsoever. So that is a huge up in my opinion, is that the fact that it actually fits the stock body better than the stock frame. The finish is dust black, so it's kind of a matte black. You do get little lines in it every now and then when you rub it against something. You can see that. I don't know if you can see that. My phone won't show me. You get little lines, but you just wet it down and they go away. For me, not a huge issue. Some guys might not like that, the fact that it kind of scuffs easy, but the scuffs don't stay. It's a pretty durable finish. For me, not an issue. I'm planning on getting this hydro dipped and anodized anyways, so this is not gonna be how it looks once I'm fully done this marker, so I'm not worried about it at all. But that is something I wanted to mention, that you're gonna get it and you're gonna run a nail across and something, you're gonna be like, oh my god, the finish. It's not a big deal. It's actually pretty durable. A little bit of spit comes right, that scratch comes right off. But it looks really good. I like it. It matches my Stella barrel backs. If you have a Stella barrel kit, same kind of finish on those. And I'll probably do a tuning video as well. Because of this chamber, I'm gonna have to bring the pressure down a lot, or so I've been told according to the advertising Nummech's done. So just in case you're curious about that and you're watching this is maybe a couple weeks after it's come out, I'll have that up on my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Thanks for watching.